Okay, hi everybody, it's Shelly, and I'm with Art Matters, a program that focuses on art for youth and teens in Albuquerque, funded and supported by the Albuquerque Museum. So thank you so much to them and the city of Albuquerque, and thanks so much to you for showing up today. We're glad to be back making these videos, and hopefully you have had access to some art materials and to some kits that Art Matters has distributed around the city. And again, my name's Shelly. And if you want to take a moment to pause, and if you don't know everybody in the room, take a moment to pause and meet everybody and find out about them, their name, any pronouns, and what kind of art you like to make. Today, we're going to be doing oil pastels. And so make sure that you have some paper, oil pastels, if you have them. Crayons could work too. Oil pastels are the best because we're going to be blending and doing some scraping. But yeah, if you have just a pencil and you want to hang out and make art, please do. Before we go any further, I want to share my screen and do some land acknowledgements and just go over a few things that are important to us at Art Matters that you might want to use to set the tone within your own space. So we will start by thank you for your patience. Honoring the land and the people who lived here before us and still live here. We, Art Manners, are a collective of teaching artists that are based on Tiwa land, otherwise known as Albuquerque, New Mexico. New Mexico has been and always will be the ancestral homelands of the Navajo Nation, the 20 Pueblos, 3 Apache nations, and the Ute tribe. So just let's take a nice deep breath here and just feel the ancestral lands and the people who are here and have been here, stewarding the land in connection with land, sky, and spirit. Thank you for that. And then moving on from that, we have our mission statement, which is we are a group of teaching artists. Currently, it is myself, Ade, and Landis. So you will see also them in videos and around town doing different art workshops. We bring authentic, engaging arts experiences to Albuquerque youth. Our content is designed to engage participants in art making with a focus on social justice, whole person health, community, joy, and creative engagement. And this is at the core of our process. So we're here to have a good time and to support you and feeling empowered in your whole body, your whole self. And then finally, we're just going to go over a few things, and you can always add to them in your own space or where you're at with the people that you're in community with today. Everyone has a voice, so we're going to make space for all respectful questions, concerns, ideas, comments, and we're going to learn from each other. So even though we're not live, that if one of you has a question or something you're wondering about, please use your voice and talk about it with your peers or with the people who are supporting you and helping facilitate this project. Respect for each other, for yourself, for the tools and the materials, for your ideas and everyone's ideas, for the environment, and throw glitter and not shade. So let's uplift each other and support each other in our creative processes. And be an artist and a maker. So try things you haven't tried. Maybe these materials today are something that you've never used, or maybe you used them before. Maybe think about using them in a different way. And just be open to creating. We're here to uplift and to have a good time and let things just flow. We've all have a lot of things that we go through every day and we've been through. So let's just, sometimes the art can really help us just continue to let go and process and engage and learn about ourselves and our journey. And again, what we already said, ask questions, listen, give thoughtful feedback. So yeah, we want you to share your art with each other, with other people, and feel free to collaborate together on the same piece of art. And also here we go, make sure that you take breaks and you want to get up, then get up and move around a little bit. If you need to go to the bathroom, if you want to get a drink of water, take a nice deep breath, please do. So we're gonna get started with just a nice deep breath. So see if you can get your feet flat on the floor. If you're sitting in a chair, if you're sitting cross-legged on the floor, that's great too. And then just take a nice deep breath and feel your spine elongate and become nice and straight and strong, and your feet open to the earth or to each other. And so again, let's make sure that we have enough space. Everybody needs space to create. So make sure you have enough space around your table, around your art space, and have a few pieces of paper. Again, oil pastels if you have access to them, and a pencil. So this work is inspired by a person named Jean Quick to See Smith, who is a local person in New Mexico, and makes incredible pieces of art, usually large scale. The museum does have a few in the collection, and I'll show you in a little bit, oftentimes with oils, oil pastels, lots of layering, a lot of work about the land, about people, about ancestry, healing, ceremony. So let's get started with our warm-up, which is just going to be starting to use these materials. I started here with some blending. So maybe choose 2 colors to start with. I chose 2 that are kind of similar here. So I'm going to do my project or my warm-up kind of again. So I put pink. So we're just choosing a color, and you can always peel the paper off of the oil pastel so you can rub it on the side if that's something you like to do. And even just try experimenting when you press really hard and then when you go light across the page. So you're creating a different value. Then I'm going to bring in, choose another color. This one is like a lighter kind of apricot color. And then if you want, you can use your finger. This is something I did not mention, but you can use make sure that you have a paper towel if you want to wipe your hands, because the oil pastels can get a little blended into your skin. So you can use your hand or your finger to smooth these colors together. And then on the other end, I chose another color there. I did blue. So now choose another color to bring in. So here I'm going to do green and kind of a gray. I don't know all the different colors you may or may not have. And then again, blend. And if you want to pause the video and just continue practicing blending, please do. So you can see here I did an orange, yellow that I was going up and down with. So pause the video and continue mixing different colors. Maybe sometimes colors, and maybe they might not be the outcome that you want, but that's okay. It's just a warm up and we're just seeing what happens. And then join me back when you're ready. So the next thing I wanted to do in the warm up is to do the scraping technique. So you can use something that you've already done and just use your pencil. Make sure it's nice and sharp. Hopefully you have a pencil sharpener nearby. Then you can kind of draw into it. And you'll see that these little pieces of, or these like parts of the oil pastel come up. So you're scraping away. And then here I'm replacing it with the graphite. And if you leave space in between, then you'll see that color coming through. Another technique is what I did here. Is so I took a color. Oftentimes a lighter color doesn't always have to be. So let's try an experiment. I always try to use a lighter color, but let me try green, which isn't the darkest color or the lightest color. Whoops, broke it. And I'm going to do that rub. And then I'm going to get a darker color like black. And I'm going to rub over it. Oh, this is a darker green. Like I said, it's an experiment. Black. And you can even do 2 different colors underneath. Like here I did yellow and orange underneath. And then you're going to cover it with another color. Maybe even try white. What happens when I put, well, this is a piece of chalk. Okay, here's a lighter yellow. So I'm going to put that on top of the green. And then I'll take my pencil and draw a design in it. And you'll see how that color kind of comes through. The pencil's a little bit overtaking. If we do this. Oh yeah, so look, I'm using the metal of my pencil and getting some really interesting effects. So again, like we said, feel free to experiment, be open. I mean, hey, it's a pencil. What's the worst thing that happens? So then just keep, again, if you want to pause the video and just keep experimenting with blending and layering and scraping and see how you can fill up your page with these oil pastels. Just look at the different color combinations. It's pretty bright. And then pause, take a break if you need to, and then we'll get started with the project inspired by Jean's work, and I will show you some images. So welcome back. I'm going to do a quick screen share before we start working or drawing, playing. So share. And let's see what, ooh, I didn't mean to close that. Thank you for your patience. Here we go. So Jean, so these images are by the person Jean Smith. And you can see here the black is really prominent, kind of looks like silhouettes. And today I was going to suggest that we draw animals, but if you want to draw figures or abstract, that's perfectly awesome. Then you can see how they blocked out parts of the black with the red where that cactus is. Overlapping is really important here. Kind of a mix, you know, definitely abstract, but then a mix of with representational images within the abstraction. This one is at the museum, I know, it's very large, but you can see again, oops, animals. This is, has more earth tones in it, a little bit of black. And let's see if there's one last one. Ooh, this one's really cool. You see the snake down? I'm gonna do, I started working on an image of a snake. I think it's a snake anyways, looks like a snake to me. But you can see how she uses, whoopsie, symbolism, animals, celestial bodies, flat shapes. So we're gonna get started now. Thanks for looking at her work with me. I really, really love her work. The color, abstraction mixed with the representation. So I started mine already, so I'm just gonna keep working on it. But you'll get another piece of paper if you want. If you want to turn your blending experimental page into your continue on it and make it into a further piece of art, please do. Otherwise, get a new piece of paper, and this time we'll fill up the page or try to fill up the page. So here I started on a snake. And if you don't know what you want to draw, you can take time to think about it. Again, pause. There's no rush on this end. And so what I did first though is that I drew a snake with my pencil across the page and some triangles. And then I decided here in my composition that there was going to be a line where there would be sky and then under earth. So now I'm just kind of filling that in. And again, you can use the oil pastel, or if you have a crayon, or even if you're working with a marker, just move it around in different ways, up and down. Here I'm going side to side. And then if you do have that oil pastel and you want to, you can peel off the paper. And my table, as you can see, is very textured and has a lot of art has been made on it. So some of that texture is kind of like a rubbing is being picked up. So that's one thing I didn't mention in the beginning is if you need to put another piece of paper or a larger piece of paper under the edge, so you don't get your the table that you're working on covered with art materials. That can be a great thing to do. Is just put another piece of paper so you can go right off of the edge of your page. Keep your stroke growing and going. And then, yeah, experiment with layering. I'd like to put some of that abstract symbolism or that representational symbolism in mine. I'm not sure quite yet, but I love eyes as symbols, so I'm going to find a way to put an eye in. I'll just go ahead and do that. So I would love to see what you all are making, and I hope that you will share it and just think about with each other, definitely, and with us here at Art Matters, artmattersnm@gmail.com. Take pictures, email them to us, give us feedback. We would love to hear from you. So while you're working, I'm going to look back at the lesson plan that hopefully you have access to. My questions for this one were, how can you use the materials in your own way? How can you experiment with colors, textures, lines, and shape? And can you fill up the whole page? So I just wanted to check and see. But yeah, filling up the page, especially with oil pastels, I think just really makes it really powerful. And again, just like Jean's work, feel free to experiment and layer and don't worry about space. It doesn't look like very many of those images were thinking about spatial representation, like where things are in space. They were more, there was some overlapping, but they were a lot on the same plane. There was not a whole lot of depth as far as like some painters or artists will put something really far in the background and then have things moving really closely. And that work that we looked at was, a lot of it was kind of on the frontal plane, which I really love. That's, that work is really powerful to me. So just experiment with that and not worrying, oh, if this is too close or too far away. I have a giant eyeball, like right by this snake. And then again, try different color combinations. Maybe put the same color that you used in one of your in a part of your drawing. Somewhere else in the composition. So I'm just going to finish up this head and the eye, and then I'm going to sign off. And I hope that you continue to draw and make maybe another 1 or 2 oil pastels. And just keep drawing, share your work with your friends, with your peers. And if you have art materials to share them with them as well. Art is a great way to connect with other people. I think I've never received a piece of art that I wish they didn't give me. It's always also so lovely to receive something that someone made. And there you go. So do my eye. I'm not finished, but I will sign off. I would keep working on it. But again, thank you so much for joining me today. I encourage you to fill up your page, experiment, and take more time for art. Take time for yourself and live the creative life. Thank you so much. And thanks again to Albuquerque Art Museum, to Art Matters, to all the people who help bring art and uplift the teens in Albuquerque. And most of all, thank you to you. Bye. See you next time.